Hello everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Well, today I'm calling it my laboratory. My name is Christy, spelled with an E, and I am going to do some experimenting today. Nothing crazy, not too outlandish. What I am going to do is take this half a bar of castile soap that I had left over from when I made laundry soap, and I'm going to grate it, hence my grater, and mix it with some of my tallow balm, melting it in a double boiler over the stove, which reminds me, I need to turn my water on so it will actually boil. You know, water that doesn't have any flame underneath it does not boil unless it's really, really hot and you're outside, but I'm inside and it's only like 73 degrees in here. So there would be no melting going on. But back in the day, our ancestors used regular castile lye soap to wash their hair. And if you remember from my laundry soap video, I am trying to get away from all of the chemicals and additives and poisons that are in our everyday life, trying to go back to what things used to be. And can I just take a second to say that dinner is smelling really, really good? Oh, I don't know if you could see that, and I may have seen the steam from that. I've got the crock pot going. But that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try and make my own shampoo bar. So my tallow balm that I made, I used, my rendered tallow with castor oil and coconut oil. That's what it looks like. It is absolutely fabulous. This was the jars that I had made up for Christmas gifts. I think I made 12 jars, and I left a bunch of them back in West Virginia with everyone to, be able to use them without needing more right away, because I'll always bring more with me. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have been washing my hair with castile soap the past couple of days, and people say that it makes their hair dry or unmanageable. I have not had any issues. This is me with nothing in my hair except, after I've washed it. So I have no complaints. So let me get this soap grated. It's a lot harder to grate soap than it is to grate cheese. Who'd have thunk? But I don't know, it smells good. So that's what I'm doing right now. It'll probably take me a minute to get this all grated up because, I don't want to grate my fingers. That would not be good. So I'm not going to go as fast so I can be a little more careful. And why am I melting it over the stove using a double boiler instead of, say, using a microwave? Well, for one reason, I do not have a microwave. I do not like microwaves. The only time I had one was when my son was still living here because he liked all that nasty, poisonous, frozen junk food. So for his sake, since he was not used to living without one, I don't like living with one, but it's okay. But I had one when he was living with us, but he is now grown up and on his own. So no more microwave. I've melted almost everything this way. When I make chocolate during the holidays, it's always over a double boiler. It's just easier for me. It maybe not be easier for some. If you want to do this, you could definitely use the microwave, I would assume. Again, don't ask me how to use it because I really don't know how you do that, just because I'm not used to using one. So I never had one growing up. My mom never used a microwave. We did everything on the stove. And as my friend Lila likes to tell me, I grew up bougie. So it wasn't because couldn't afford it. My mom just did not like them. And I have inherited that from her, which I thank her for, because I like that I'm not dependent on a piece of equipment that has to be plugged in. I'm trying to get away from all that stuff, and I'm getting down to the very last little bits of this soap, and I do not feel like getting my thumb all messed up, and my water is boiling. So I'm going to take this over and get it melted and see what happens. When I thought about doing this today, I figured I might as well bring you all along with me. I'm just playing around. I have no recipe. I'm just, like I said, I'm just playing around. I do have some molds. This is a Halloween mold. So that's what I'm going to put it in. I don't know if it'll bar up or not. Like I said, experimentation. I am going to take a spoon to my tallow balm here and, well, put some of that in there as well. This should work as more of a conditioning agent. Like I said, don't know how much to put in there. I'm just experimenting and having fun playing in the kitchen today. Really boily as we were before. Place this right there and let it begin to melt. I'm guessing that we're at about the consistency of rice pudding. I'm not sure. I have never eaten rice pudding, nor do I really have the desire to. But that's kind of what it almost looks like to me, some kind of porridge. But it is melting slowly. I have been at this for quite a while, and I'm not getting it to melt down anymore. So I think I'm going to try and put it in the mold at this point and see what happens to it. Well, I turned off my heat and took my bowl off the heat. It's still very, very hot, but I have not been able to get this to melt as much as I was hoping it would. So we are going to try it as it sits. So I'm just going to put some of this in a mold. Got a few molds I can put it in, probably it'll fit a few of them, I believe. I may try a different way to melt this if I do this again, but we shall see. But for now, we're gonna see if it hardens and pop them out of the mold and take a look at them if and when they harden. I don't want to use my finger to do that. I will use a spatula. Forget that this is a hot spoon. At least I remembered before I touched it. That's a step in the right direction. And I think just like a cake batter, you know how you shake a cake batter? I mean, this is not exactly the same because it bounces, but we'll see if that helps it settle into the mold a little bit anyways. So, we'll come back in a couple hours and see if it's hardened. Well, y'all, I did it. I made 2 little bars of soap. I don't know if you can see them very well. They didn't set in the mold like I would have liked them to. They are a lot softer than I was hoping they would be, but I almost kind of knew that they wouldn't be very hard because of the extra oils that I put in there. I added the tallow, coconut, and castor oil, which was in my tallow balm. But I have 2 little bars of soap, and I'm going to try them tomorrow. You can see my hair. I have no product in my hair. I just washed it. This is the second day that I washed it just using Castile soap. Tomorrow, I'm going to try this little baby. I'm very excited about that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, it is a little softer than I was hoping, but it's not bad. Shall we wash our hands and see how it lathers up? Nice hot water here. And like I said, it's a little softer than I was hoping for, but I mean, I also kind of knew that. But it does give a nice bubbly lather. And it does smell really good, and it's very moisturizing, at least that's how it feels. So it does bubble up nicely. And my hands don't feel dried. Until I dry them with a towel, then they will feel dried. So there we have it. I actually did it. I wasn't sure if that was going to work out or not. Didn't work out perfectly, but that's what experimentation is for. Try and figure it out as you go along. But I'll definitely be using that in the morning tomorrow when I take my shower. Thanks for joining me in my laboratory today. If you've watched this entire video, give yourself a round of applause, and thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend it with moi. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will catch you all later. Toodles.